section right here. We want to talk about some things that are kind of like that's been going on. It's like 3 separate cases where police involved shootings that we've spoke on one of them from before, but the first one we want to talk about is second ex-Memphis cop pleads guilty in Tyre Nichols death case. Nichols, 29, was stopped by members of the department's Scorpion Unit, a tactical street team, on alleged suspicion of reckless driving on January 7th. Evidence later disproved the claim. At one point during the traffic stop, he attempted to flee on foot before being brazenly battered by Martin and 4 of his colleagues. The father of one was minutes away from where his mother, Ro Vaughn Wells, lives when the interaction unfolded. He passed away days later on January 10th from blunt force trauma to the head. Nichols' death sparked national outrage and protest and cries for justice and police reform. And so I guess 2 of the officers who beat Tyre Nichols, 2 of them just pled guilty to the charges. And so like this has been a pretty long case going on here. It happened in 2023. You know what I'm saying? But it's been a case in Memphis for a while where they just beat this man pretty much for no reason. You know, this is what a lot of officers are being able to get away with.
They were a task force, and there was a certain kind of task force, and they were known for this, actually, just driving around beating the crap out of black folks.
Yeah, they said the officer pled guilty to his use of excessive force and witness tampering. You know, so I guess basically they all just probably lied to each other. You know what I mean? Hey, not me lied for each other. Like, hey, you say this didn't happen, but you beat this man to death. You beat him to death. That's not an easy thing to do, is to beat somebody to death. The human body is pretty resilient. You can beat somebody pretty good and they'll still get up.
I remember watching the video.
Beat the dog shit out that man. You know what I mean? For no reason. But to move on, another case right here.
Held him and punched him in the face.
Beat the shit out of him, man. Okay, now remember we also spoke about the former Florida sheriff's deputy who fatally shot black airman at his home, turns himself in. So remember the case about the black airman who was at his house when police came there because a neighbor had said something about basically there was a domestic disturbance at the house. And from what they're saying here, a former Florida sheriff's deputy charged with killing a black U.S. Air Force senior airman who answered his apartment door while holding the gun pointed toward the ground was arrested Monday, officials said. Former Okaloosa County Deputy Eddie Duran, 38, was charged with manslaughter with a firearm in the May 3rd shooting death of 23-year-old Roger Fortson. Assistant State Attorney General Greg Marcel announced Friday. The charge is a first-degree felony punishable by up to 30 years in prison. Duran was booked into county jail Monday, records show. Marcel confirmed his arrest to the Associated Press. He did, in fact, turn himself in, Marcel said on a telephone interview, adding that Duran's initial court appearance will be via video link Tuesday morning. He will be held in custody pending his initial appearance. An attorney representing Duran did not immediately respond to email seeking confirmation.
And so with that one, like the cop went to the wrong house.
Yep.
And then he knocked on the door, and then he was covering up. I don't know. No, he didn't cover up the peephole. He moved to the side.
Yep.
And so the area is already known for people doing B&Es, which are breaking and entering, armed robberies. So the guy answered the door. He was a military dude, so he answered the door with his gun. Because someone's knocking on his door and then moving away from the
you can't see who did it. You can't see who's doing it.
You can't see who's doing it. So you answer the door, and the cop didn't even give him a chance.
Yeah,
it
says according to an internal affairs report of the shooting, Duran told investigators that when Fortson opened the door, he saw aggression in the airman's eyes. He said he fired because I'm standing there thinking I'm about to get shot. I'm about to die. You know what I mean? So
not even to put the gun down, just pop, pop, pop.
At all. He didn't ask him to put the gun down at all whatsoever. Also, they say records of the 911 call shows deputies had never been called to Fortson's apartment previously, but they had been summoned to a nearby apartment 10 times in the previous 8 months, including once for a domestic disturbance. So it's also that he went to the wrong apartment because people, what they did was they stopped him out on the street. Like, he came over because they made a call. They stopped him out near the headquarters or whatever in the apartment complex. It was like, hey, let me take you over here, and kind of pointed him along to where it was. They didn't tell him exactly. It wasn't like, hey, that house right there. They kind of said on this floor because people didn't even, it wasn't the person who called, I don't think, wasn't even there to tell him which one it was. You know what I mean? So this dude kind of assumed and went over here and ended up killing somebody. But they're saying that it's never the policy. If your person can have a gun in their hand, it's not the policy that you can shoot them because they have a gun in their hand. You never asked them to put it down. You never asked them any question at all. So you just basically started shooting as soon as things, you know what I mean? As soon as you felt like you start busting. That's pretty much what happened here. You know what I mean? So this is another officer, involved shooting to where another black person is dead. And the other one was the Tyree Nichols case was black people who actually beat Tyree Nichols to death. Yeah. Those were black officers.
Just to add on to those, you know what I'm saying? There's one I wanted to put here. Boy 8 drowned in water-filled pit by 11-year-old bully who held his head underwater. You know what I'm saying? This the child he was lured there by his name is Noah Bush. He was lured there by 2 children and the child's mother and another grown man were there. Mm-hmm. They drowned him. They basically this is the lynch. They lynched him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Young black kid. They purposely brought him down there to lynch him. And now see they didn't even name it as lynching. They gave the little 11-year-old boy 2 years. 2 years, and he admitted that he did it. He got 2 years. But also, I just want to point that out there. They got this kid, Kadeem Holland, a.k.a. Baby K, got 25 years for attempted murder because the gun jammed. He was in the bus.
Is that the one where I saw that? I saw that.
The kid. And I'm like, hold on. That kid, he wasn't even that old. He's like 14.
Yeah, I saw that. He walked up on the bus. He was going to blow the kid's head off with the gun. It was pretty much a cold-blooded murder. He
was 15 years old, right? He didn't kill nobody. He was
going
to do it,
the
right?
Gun he didn't even shoot the person.
He tried.
He tried, but the gun...
It's attempted murder. Attempted murder, but he's 15. He don't get another chance at life?
Yeah, they broke him off, and they gave the other little kid 2 years.
They gave the other kid 2 years for premeditated lynching.
Yep, and then they tried to cover it up, too, at the same time.
Yeah, no, they covered it up.
His parents and everything helped him cover it.
Didn't his parents help him cover it? The parents had to take it to the federal authorities for them to pick it up.
Did the parents get in trouble? Because remember you were saying that the parents were walking down the street and they were heard on a ring cam or something like that?
The mom got sentenced, too, because the mom was waiting for him. The 2 little boys lured him down there, and the mom and another white adult was down there, and they lynched this little boy. That's what they did. They lynched him. They have him on the ring camera talking about the little boy's like, he's dead, huh? And the mom was like, shh. Be quiet. And the cops didn't want to do nothing. The parents had to take it to the federal authorities and keep pushing to the public. And they still only get that little boy 2 years.
I mean, this next one, man, real quick.
Yeah.
Judge rules Breonna Taylor's boyfriend caused her death, throws out major charges against ex-Louisiana officers. A federal judge has thrown out major felony charges against 2 former Louisiana officers accused of falsifying a warrant that led to police to Breonna Taylor's door before they fatally shot her. U.S. District Court Judge Charles Simpson ruling declared that the actions of Taylor's boyfriend, who fired a shot at the police the night of the raid, were the legal cause of her death, not a bad warrant. Federal charges against former Louisiana Police Detective Joshua Jans and former Sergeant Kyle Manning were announced by U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland in 2022 during a high-profile visit to Louisville. Garland accused Jans and Meany, who were not present at the raid, of knowing that they had falsified part of the warrant to put Taylor in a dangerous situation by sending armed officers to her apartment. Wow, bro. They falsified the warrant to get them to go to the house, man. That is crazy. I didn't know that part.
When the system breaks the law, it's okay. But when you break the law, you got to admit to what you did. You got to man up and do all that stuff.
Dude,
they killed this woman for no reason, tried to lock her boyfriend up, and they wanted him. They told the boyfriend, we'll let you out free as long as you say that she was selling drugs. He refused to do it, and they had to let him out.
They said, but Simpson wrote in Tuesday's ruling that there is no direct link between the warrantless entry and Taylor's death. Simpson's ruling effectively reduced the civil rights violation charges against Jannings and Meany, which had carried a maximum sentence of life in prison, to a misdemeanors. So basically, he's saying that because y'all falsified a warrant to go into someone's house and they got killed because of a false warrant, that you're not responsible for the death because that boyfriend shot his gun. And you didn't even announce yourself, nothing. What is anyone else going to do if they hear somebody bust into their house at the middle of the night and it's you? If it's just you, but it's you and your girl at the house, what are you going to do? I'm going to shoot too. They're saying, man, this is.
And think about it.
Man,
they want to give the police total immunity.
They've already given them immunity. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but they've basically given them immunity right here with this case right here. This is a perfect example of why black people, especially, do not trust law enforcement at all whatsoever.
Especially since we had old girl in
Are
Illinois,
you serious, man?
She called the police and they killed her. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? What we gonna do? We gonna keep y'all updated with everything that goes on here, man. Uncommon Courtesy. We gonna see y'all tomorrow.